Sports Lounge 265, Eagles, Vikings. Everything that the NFC title game wasn't. Close and competitive.
It would have been nice if, regardless of the result of who won or lost, it would have been nice if last year's NFC title game was that close.
It would have been a lot better than what it was. It's 265. Charlie is here, stacking. I think it was a 3-2 week for stacking on the picks.
Good for him. Over 500.
There we go. Vikings lead the Eagles 23-21. How many seconds are left, Charlie?
It looks like 69. 69 seconds left.
That would be accurate there. 69 seconds left. No timeouts. Game comes down to an onside kick. Is it too much to say whoever gets this onside kick is going to win this game? Because I think that is exactly what will happen here.
That's a bold statement, but only the bold inherit the earth. I don't know. I think you're right.
Well, we got a scrum, and I have no idea who has the ball. I think it was Thielen, maybe, and Thielen got the ball. Why? Because he's fucking great. That's why. Vikings got the ball. Vikings won 23-21. Do you think Stacken has stopped slitting his wrists here with the likes of Arizona on the schedule next, the Jets on the schedule next? Just a real tough stretch of games here, Charlie.
I think he has stopped slitting his wrists, but it was only as of when they said that Thielen came out with the football on the onside kick. That was the moment where he stopped and was like, you know what? I'm going to put some bandages on these and some gauze. I think we're going to be good to go. That's how recently Stacken has changed his mind.
It was the offense only scored 16 points. Linval Joseph had a 64-yard. It was an interception. Linval Joseph, defensive tackle, had an interception, went 63 yards. Again, offense scored 16. The offense looked fine. The quarterback is unbelievable. The offensive line is going to be bad all year, and they couldn't run the ball at all. So if they're going to win games, it's going to be because of the quarterback and the receivers and the defense. Very bad effort a week ago against the Rams, but today was a lot better. They scored on defense. They hold them to 21 points, and Vikings beat the Eagles. Are the Packers are the Packers bad? What are the Packers right now?
Right now they're bad, but I feel like we've seen this before, where they're going to find a way to rally, and they're still going to get. I don't know if they're going to win the division, but I think they'll find a way to get into the playoffs, and probably maybe win a wild card game and then lose the following week, because as fantastic as Aaron Rodgers is, they just each year it seems like they've got less and less talent around them.
We're 5 games into this, so we're about a third of the way done. The NFC, I guess besides maybe the Rams, I would say you can't really confidently say any team's going to win any division right now.
I think that's a fair statement. The Rams seem pretty cut and dry. It would be stunning if anyone else did that. But yeah, the other 3, I don't have a clue who's going to win the NFC East. I know the Lions are not going to win the NFC North.
I know the Giants aren't winning the East. I know that much.
I would agree with that too.
The Falcons are 1-4. They're pretty good 1-4. Arizona's 0-4. They're bad. I don't think they're going to win here. So, not much you can decide 5 games in. Chiefs, they look good. NFC South, I don't know, Jacksonville probably, but we'll see. Bengals making a run. And the Patriots are going to win that division. So, don't know a whole lot. Five games in. So, that's great. Is there a more entertaining team than Cleveland? They've won in regulation. They've lost in regulation. They've won in overtime. They've lost in overtime. And they've had a tie.
I think the 2 most entertaining teams are the Chiefs and the Browns for dramatically different reasons. The Browns because every game is – I was going to say Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. That's not accurate, though. It's more like
Yeah.
It's more like the robbers in Home Alone stumbling through the house. That's kind of what the Cleveland Browns games are like, but in an entertaining way.
The game may not be good, but it will not be decided.
But it's not bad either, though. I mean, there's like dumb mistakes that are weird, but it's entertaining. There's generally at least some points, although there were not a lot of points today.
No. So the Browns, they've won 2 games right now, so that's great. Any other NFL thoughts? I'm going to ask old Stack Attack here, Dentist, his top 3 receivers, because I think Thielen's the best. Very unlikely that the Stack saw my tweet because it's on the internet. So what do you think he will say? Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, is that going to be the list or what?
I would hope he'd have Thielen over Beckham. Julio Jones, I don't know. I would put Thielen above him right now. I don't know. I'm particularly fond of Diggs as well. Probably not to the degree of Thielen. Thielen's clearly a better route runner. But I would put probably Antonio Brown 1, and then Thielen to me would be number 2 right now.
Diggs is the point guard that can break your ankle.
Yeah, he's I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair because Thielen is a big play guy too, but Diggs is the 60, 70-yard play guy too. I mean, if they need that. And so they're both incredibly entertaining. They're the reason the Vikings, those 2 and Cousins are the reasons they have 2 wins right now. I mean,
I told Charlie right before he got on, if they're going to win, they're going to have to win like this. Defense is going to have to hold them to 20, and the quarterback and the 2 receivers are going to have to, do what they do every game.
Yeah, defense. I mean, I was pleased with the defense considering what we've seen the last few weeks. Got to the quarterback, had a couple turnovers. They have to take the ball away. They can't afford to just live without any takeaways. So that was important. Good that they got a win. Entering this little 2-game stretch with the Rams and Eagles, they had to get one of them, and they got the Eagles. I mean, the Rams are probably going to be looking like the number 1 seed. So that's a good spot to be in right now.
Well, you got Cardinals next week.
Cardinals next week. That should be a win. But we thought the Bills would be a win. So do that.
You got the Jets after that.
Jets and then Saints. So
part of the schedule.
Hardest part of the schedule's done. I mean, I still don't like the New England, Seattle, a little back-to-back. The Bears are better, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge too. But yeah.
There we go. There's a UFC fight last night. Did you see what happened here?
I did not see it. I heard about what happened. Sort of. I don't even know all the details. That not Conor McGregor. The other guy won, and someone from the other guy's crew got into a fight with someone else, and something spilled into the stands. Apparently,
the fighter, the guy who beat Conor McGregor, Khabib Nurmagomedov, won the fight, choked him out in the 4th round. And some guy from McGregor's team was talking shit on the outside of the cage. So Khabib jumps the cage, goes after this guy.
And this guy, the manager for McGregor had alleged that Khabib's father was a terrorist and all this stuff. So yeah, he as soon as the match was over, he went after him. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's part of the background. McGregor, he starts to sucker punch some folks. And then some guy in a red shirt from Khabib's team jumps in and starts going after McGregor.
He got some legit punches in, I felt like.
He did. There weren't many, but he got a couple in.
Yeah.
I felt this was completely 100% justified. I mean, people are saying, it's the worst thing of all time. I am completely fine with this guy going after anybody and anybody. I have
a problem with the fake outrage about this. Because this is UFC. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do we have headphones?
You need you. I'm an Echo guy.
We're getting some back, Charlie. We're getting some.
There is some feedback in a
Son of
negative
bitch.
way.
Okay, I'll work on it.
All right, he's going. There's some, like Marcus said. There's outrage and how could this happen? Oh my God! I mean, at some point this is a wrestling thing, isn't it, Charlie? It's gone past fight. I mean, it's entertainment at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, there's this weird line. I think some people are upset. If you're upset, you probably shouldn't be watching this stuff in the first place. If you're not watching it in the first place, I don't know if we really should care if people are upset about it. And ultimately, I think this is 100% something that they're going to claim at the UFC, that we don't like that and that's bad, while secretly going behind closed doors and smiling about how that kind of stuff's great for business.
Yes. And the whole thing started with the bus incident where McGregor takes a dolly or like a little cart on wheels, throws it at this bus that all the fighters are on and breaks the windows and shit. And literally nothing happened. I think he got maybe a fine. Literally nothing happened to him. And all of this stuff that McGregor, I mean, it's part of the show and he's egging him on. And like Marcus, I'm completely fine with this guy going after somebody from the other side because of all of this. There's only so much you can take before you're like, I'm done with this. I'm gonna put an end to it.
I heard somebody make the point. Is this better? That basically McGregor does all this shit, and UFC isn't gonna not have him as part, not gonna not have him as part of the show and everything. So you need a fighter who's going to kick his ass, and this guy kicked his ass in the ring, and then kicked some of his people's ass after it. And yeah, like you said before, just I have a problem with the people getting outraged about this because they think it doesn't have a place in UFC. This is UFC. If you don't like it, don't watch. If you do like it, you'll keep watching. This is, like you said, this is wrestling, like to drive the storyline. I'm sure there'll be a rematch at some point or whatever, and you know, if you're watching UFC, you consented to this a long time ago. This type of stuff.
The buy rate should be will be the largest ever. It'll be well over 1 million, probably 1.5 million, close to 2, which is by far the biggest they will have ever done. So I would say there's just too much money at stake not to do a rematch. The Nevada Athletic Commission, I guess, will have the penalty here, and some people are saying maybe a year suspension, which is fine. That just doesn't mean he can't fight in Nevada. He can fight anywhere else. He can fight. So it doesn't.
Well, and it's in their best interest to lay down a light punishment too. I mean,
yeah, because Mike Tyson bit a man's ear off. We all remember that.
Yep.
And he was barred from fighting in Nevada for a time. So the state of Tennessee says you can fight here. Sure, bring you and your circus and your millions of dollars to Memphis, Tennessee. So he has a fight in Memphis, Tennessee, and that does well. And then Nevada's like, well, shit, we want those millions of dollars. You can fight here again. So, yeah, if you suspend him or not, do whatever you want. The balls the UFC would have to suspend him beyond just in Nevada would be quite. It would drown itself in hypocrisy because they didn't do anything with Conor McGregor. And what McGregor did, everybody would say is worse than this. And he got no penalty from the UFC. So.
All true. And in addition to that, it would not financially be in their best interest to do that either. So it would be both hypocritical and a bad business decision.
Yes. So if you're looking for the answers, look at the money. So that was a big deal late last night, around midnight. That was an interesting deal right there.
So real quick, just to kind of to wrap my head around this. So the guy who won, whose first name's Khabib,
yes,
has I know very little about him. He has a Middle Eastern sounding name, and someone was accusing him or his father of being a terrorist.
He's a Russian.
He's a Russian.
Yeah.
I just find it ironic that someone with Conor McGregor, who's big on Irish stuff and things like that, calling someone else a terrorist when, you know, there's the IRA in Ireland also. And it could be like, well, I mean, if we want to get into stereotypes, there's plenty of negative terrorists and in Ireland also.
It's not like they terrorize people for 40 years, regular citizens just living their lives or anything. So
it is, it's interesting how this top star, there's no repercussions, and somebody who's not a top star, there may be repercussions on that. So very bad, but I guess not unexpected. The Brewers here are advancing to the series that gets you to the World Series. They've played 4 playoff games. They've given up 3 runs. This is very good. I think they're winning. I think they're my pick to win the whole thing. Their pitching's been great. And any qualm about the Brewers? I think their pitching just gonna roll through these fuckers.
I don't like that they have
Moustakas
and Drew Butera. He was on the Rockies, right?
Yeah, fuck him.
So as long as he's out, that's fine.
We got Astros up 2-0, Dodgers up 2-0. You got Brewers, they won their series, and you got Yankees, Red Sox probably going 5. Ratings, Charlie, are bonkers for Yankees, Red Sox. Over 5 million people watched a baseball game, which is a lot of people at this point in the playoffs. I don't care too much about this series. Do you care about this at all? Because I really don't.
I do not, and I would be less likely to care about that than most of the others. And it's just because I don't like either of the two teams. In sort of a sports or professional wrestling way, I can watch a game because there's one team I don't like, hoping the other side wins. But when I don't like either of them, and I understand why that game does well with ratings. I'm not saying it shouldn't. I just don't care about it and won't watch either because they're my 2 least favorite teams in baseball.
Like, who are these people that care about it? Because apparently
people on the East Coast apparently.
It's like, fuck, I don't care about this at all. It's just too much, way too much of it. So Brewers, Dodgers on one side, Astros and somebody else. So we could get Dodgers, Astros again. Brewers, Yankees would be interesting. Brewers, Astros. Brewers, Red Sox.
Winner of the Brewers Yankees World Series gets the corpse of CC Sabathia.
Ooh, wow! Put the body of the Batman.
Or Brewers Indians if Cleveland can win it back. So
CC didn't play for you. Get out.
Yep, you're out. Yep.
There we go. Charlie, did you see Texas, Oklahoma?
I did. I basically watched that game in its entirety, more or less. There were a few other games on that slot that I watched here and there when it was a commercial or briefly when Texas was up by 3 touchdowns. But yeah, mostly that game.
And
the
main thing about that game and that time slot is that there weren't that many other good games to begin with. And those games quickly got themselves out of the way so you could just focus on Texas, Oklahoma. So I appreciate those other teams for sucking it up and letting me watch that game.
I wish there were more games like Texas, Oklahoma, and Michigan, Ohio State that were like, yeah, we're just going to play at 11 in the morning every year. Because it always seems like it's like, hey, there's 4 good games this weekend, and it's like, oh, and 3 of them are on at the same time tonight. So I can't watch 2 of those, I guess.
Texas can't figure out Maryland. It appears Oklahoma can't figure out Texas. Just a poop sandwich with Texas. Was this like a game of the year contender here? Big lead for Texas. Oklahoma comes back. Game-winning field goal. Was it that good? Was it that entertaining of a game? We could say it was the best game you've seen so far, or what was it?
I think it might be the best game I've seen so far this year. I don't think it's going to be the best game by the time we're in the middle or end of November, but it was pretty good. It was a comeback to tie that then turned into a field goal drive with a guy with a nice rhyming name that made the field goal at the end.
I would say that I would agree with Charlie. This game will be surpassed, but probably one of the best games so far. And also the comeback from the Sooners, entirely predictable with their offense. More importantly, I was disappointed with their defense. Fire Mike Stoops. So
their defense is so bad. And it's been like that for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now, where, like, I get that if you're in the Big 12, it's hard to be, like, elite on defense. But as well as they recruit, I feel like Oklahoma should at least be able to be like, yeah, I mean, we're like the 40th best defense in the country, which is fine because we're a top 5 offense, but they're just brutal on defense. I mean, they gave up, 33 to Baylor last week.
Yeah, that was bad.
And Baylor ain't that great.
No.
Just weird how certain conferences are just play certain ways. Just weird how that cluster of teams happens. So I want to know what Stacken says about the top 3 receivers. I want to know how many teams do you think Stacken will say will finish undefeated?
7.
There's only like 5 left, right, or 6 left.
There's quite a few. See,
As far as like Power 5 conference.
There's 7. There's 6. There's 6 and UCF, and then South Florida and Cincinnati.
Yeah, I saw that the yesterday with the Boise State loss, we saw a big shift in the potential group of 5 team. We could see some different contenders there. I like that. So
probably the South Florida, Central Florida winner at the end of the year, I think would have a good chance at wrapping that up.
I'm going to look it up just to get some of the other teams quickly.
Unless they – actually, I don't know if Cincinnati's on – I know they're in the same conference as those two. I don't know if they're in the same division or not.
Cincinnati's undefeated. They're going to have a big game here at some point as well.
No, the Florida's in they're all in 3. They're all 3, Charlie, in the same division.
They're all in the same division, so that does not bode well for Cincinnati then.
One of those teams has to win both of those games. Whoever's going to win this conference has to beat the other 2 teams. Beat each other.
Some other very outside contenders: Appalachian State, Utah State, Fresno. Give me some of those. Those would be great, but they probably need UCF to lose twice.
They need all 3 of those teams to lose to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And they need to all run the table and then hope to fuck something else happens as well.
That's right.
I believe I heard, and we've had playoffs for 4 years, and I think, Charlie, there's only been 4 undefeated teams at the start of the playoffs. I think is what
I think that's right, because I think there's just been 1 each year, and each year the team that's undefeated has not won. Because in 2014, it was Florida State who got smoked by Oregon. In 2015, it was Clemson who lost to Alabama in the title game. The next year, it was Alabama who lost to Clemson in the title game. And then who was it last year that was undefeated?
Georgia?
Yeah.
No, Georgia lost to Auburn and then beat Auburn in the SEC. No, last year, well, UCF was undefeated last year. I don't know if anyone else was.
Nobody was.
In the playoff. Yeah, I don't think anyone in the playoff was.
So week 15 last year, everybody had a loss last year.
What about NC State in the playoff?
Fuck them. I say fuck them.
Okay.
Both Alabama and Clemson were undefeated. Oh, no, that's not right either, because Clemson lost to a shitty team.
You lost to Pitt, right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Ohio State was undefeated. Yeah, you mentioned that. And Clemson was also undefeated that year. There were 2. Yeah, that was the one year there were 2 undefeated teams.
Well, the year Ohio State won it, they weren't undefeated because they lost to Stacken.
The next year.
Okay, gotcha.
The next year, it looks like they and Clemson were undefeated. Alabama had 1 loss, and Alabama won. Alabama and Georgia, one of them will lose. Ohio State, and Clemson. Somebody's got Ohio State 1. Somebody's got Clemson at 1. 2 coaches have Clemson with 2. How do you justify voting Clemson at number 1? That just does not seem to even.
An ACC coach that's only watched Clemson play and not any of the other teams play this year. I would imagine that's what it is. I don't think Ohio State should be. I think you could make a case for Ohio State. Not a great one, but sort of a case, especially because they won at Penn State at night, which is tough. I don't know what realistic case you could make for Clemson based off what we've seen so far. Now, a month from now, maybe it's different, but
Like, if there was a team to get another vote, I would assume it'd be Georgia. Georgia's second. They don't have any first-place votes. If you're going to get a straggler here or there, I would assume it would be Georgia. Sure as I want to be Clemson or Ohio State. Stacking. It was a win today for the hometown team. It was a squeaker, as always. Very comfortable lead. Was very comfortably handled. No excitement at the end at all.
No. Are you talking about South Dakota State or the Vikings?
They did. Both of them.
Boom.
Both good things right there.
What do I always say, Crins? What do I always say? What does
to be the man, you got to beat the man.
What does prevent defense do?
It's a good strategy to.
It cuts
prevents
the
you
lead
from winning.
It cuts the lead from 9-2, but allows you to get the onside kick.
Wow.
Well, prevent defense. I mean, as you chug down your 7th Coors Light here, I mean, you got.
Excuse me, this is a Jack and Do. Thank you.
Bush Light.
Wow, hitting the hard shit on week 5. Hitting the hard stuff. We're in week 5 here.
They haven't.
Well, it's been a while since they've won. He wants to celebrate.
I haven't celebrated a win since week 1.
You're a sick individual. Mountain Dew and Jack Daniels. What are you doing?
If it makes you feel any better, Stacking, I haven't celebrated a Nebraska win since they beat Purdue. Now, when you say no, they lost to Purdue this year, Charlie, I would say, yep, that's correct. They did.
That
lose
was
to Purdue
literally.
this year.
That was almost literally 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Not good. Give me Stacking.
Yeah.
There are projections of what you will say. Give me your top 3 wide receivers in the NFL.
Top 3 wide receivers. All right. We'll go Julio. We'll go Julio Jones. Is this in any particular order?
Yeah.
Presumably 1 through 3.
Okay. Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, Adam Thielen.
I'd put Thielen above both of them.
I'm not going to disagree or argue with you because he's done something that no one in the history of the league has done before. So,
what's that? What did he do that no one else?
He has 5 straight 100+ yard receiving games. No one has ever done that before.
To start the season.
To start the season, yes. Excuse me. Yes.
It's pretty good. I did not realize that. That's pretty good, though.
The consensus seems to be Stacking. The offensive line sucks. The defense was good.
Well,
offensive line, I thought played pretty well today. Almost did better when Reef got hurt. So.
Cousins was putting the steps. Cousins was putting the fucking steps on.
Well, he can use it. He can use it.
They have more
early on, quick passes. That was great. Quick passes.
They had more rushing yards this game than they had all season. And Tom Compton didn't suck a big one today, so that's really good. So
could it be the Eagles maybe are not that great?
What?
Could it be that the Eagles are maybe not even a playoff team?
Yeah, I think so.
Right now, I wouldn't disagree with that. Who is in that division? That division stinks.
Giants suck.
Washington. Think about it.
The most perpetually overrated division of our lifetimes is the NFC East. There have been times where it's been good, but almost always, oh my God, look how great they are. And then in week 6, we're like, man, that division blows.
Like, if it wasn't for those lucky as fuck, literally 2 lucky as hell Giants teams, like, they haven't won a Super Bowl since the 92 Redskins, or the, 95 Cowboys.
Well, if you want to forget last year, that's fine.
I do. I don't count. I don't. Okay. It's being played under protest.
Championship has been vacated.
It's been vacated due to
recruiting violations for the Eagles.
How about changing the damn pass catch rule mid-season, like during the biggest game of the year?
Not mid-season, for the biggest game.
For the big game, yeah, for the big game.
For the Super Bowl.
But fucking bullshit.
That was a really good roughing the passer call, I thought, on Michael Bennett. That was, boy, you really got a hold of him.
That was a great call. Got the Vikings 7 points. I appreciated that.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Every week.
It's nice that the Vikings are on the right side of a call for once. I'm sure you're going to say that the Sendejo penalty was deserved, and you know what?
No, it wasn't. That wasn't deserved either. That was a shit call as well.
Okay, good. All right.
Jesus Christ.
He's the last guy I'm going to stand up for because, my God.
I mean, these penalties are just atrocious. They're just bad. They make the game a mockery. A mockery. What's the rest of it, Sacking?
A travesty, a sham, and a mockery. It's a Travis sham mockery. You're making up words. Burger Fliggle.
I mean, it's just it makes the game a joke.
Oh,
I can't
But,
take
time out. I'm watching Linval run down the field here on Red Zone, and he's a fast man for like 330 pounds. He's a fast mofo.
Nobody was catching him. Nobody was catching him. Brewers stacking. The Brewers did it. They're great.
Good.
On Krins's point, like I think overall instant replay is a good thing and things like that, but instant replay and therefore more legislation of rules and everything has made the NFL worse than it was 7 years ago.
States'
Where it's
rights.
just like, oh my God, why do we do this? And it's like, I mean, we've joked about this before, but 8 years ago, if someone was like, hey, is that a catch? You always knew. Where now constantly you're like, I don't even know. I don't know what's going on. What are they doing here?
Yeah, like
It's
that.
just-
Are you talking about that Smallwood touchdown catch?
No, I'm not. I'm talking just in general. That is permeated to
Literally
every
do not
rule in the NFL, where it's just there's constantly things that happen. Because I mean, like a decade ago,
You knew.
there was pass interference that you could be like, is that pass interference or not? And that was about it. Basically, everything else was like, yep, we got it. And it's just like in trying to make the game like more accurate, like they by trying to make it better and clearer, they've made it worse and less clear, which is weird and odd.
That Smallwood catch, the touchdown catch, that wouldn't have been a touchdown last year.
I'm glad it was because I mean he was down and that's fine.
Yeah, but doesn't. Yeah. Yep.
Like it should. What like the rules? I just throw the rules out the window because obviously they have as well. Because like literally, I'm sure this is literally any sack. Everybody here is waiting. Is that it? Is that a penalty? Like you can literally on every sack, everybody is waiting for. Was that going to be roughing the passer? Because there's no distinction between because all the calls we've seen that are roughing the passer. There's nothing that distinguishes those from any other non-call.
The other thing that I find interesting is that they're allowing defensive players to they can push the quarterback over after he throws it, but that little thing that Michael Bennett did where he basically grabs the guy by the legs to take him down
The
is
only
a penalty.
thing he could have done.
And I just think if you're gonna let pass rushers just push the quarterback over after he throws it,
Was that not a penalty?
yeah, how is that not a penalty? And so I think the ankle thing, I'll say it till the day I go to my grave. That's only because Tom Brady snapped his leg however many years ago.
Yep.
And other than that,
I'd also throw in Carson Palmer in the playoffs against the Steelers. Those two.
But I mean, we got two. I'm sure it's happened more, but we got two instances. It's just to me, the NFL, you've got to be able to let him tackle him down low. If you're not going to let him hit him in the head, and I know knees get bent the wrong way, but that's part of playing sports.
Did you say Carson Palmer was the other instance?
Yes.
Okay.
It's you can't, as a coach or a player, you can't. There's no way to not do it because you don't know what. I mean, Clay Matthews multiple times, none of his were bad. You don't know what you can do.
Yeah, you got to hit him in the stomach.
You just hit him. You just hit him, and whatever happens, happens because obviously it is completely out of their control.
And every one of those plays is always like a big. It by nature is a big play because you go from maybe ending the other team's drive to now they've got 15 yards. And how many times do we see those guys go down and score? And it's just it's always a big momentum killing play just by the very nature of you're taking away a sack for more offense.
For people say they stop watching because of that, they're liars. But for me, there's no legitimacy in the outcome. It's all right, this team won this game. It's whatever. It's a game that was played. One team scored more points. I don't take the outcome seriously whatsoever. I mean, the Browns-Raiders last week was a joke of a game by the end of it.
That wasn't even because of this.
No, this was a whole completely other – I mean, there's no legitimacy. The Raiders won. The Browns did. I mean, there's no – it's like a fucking exhibition. It's all right, yep, Browns got a loss. Oakland got a win. Nobody takes that seriously as an actual outcome. So that's a good position to be in if you're a
Speaking of Browns, has there ever been a worse field goal kick to win a game than what Joseph hit there? I thought it was blocked, and I thought I was pissed because I have a case of beer on the Browns winning 3 games this year. 3.
Will be fun.
So I need them.
I saw the end of it, like a Twitter thing on it, and like they were just playing for the field goal.
Why? It's so dumb.
Like they got like 30 seconds left, and they're just casually walking up there. All right, we'll get it on the right hash because our fucking kicker can't make it. How about, I don't know, maybe we try to score here. How about we maybe get it inside the 10? Let's fucking walk it up so we can try a 45-yarder, 40-yard field.
Out of there are 3 teams in the league that should never be playing to kick a field goal. Vikings, the Browns, and then the Packers after Mason Crosby today.
There you go. Like we talked about this a little last week, but with as much time as these coaches spend, literally 150 hours a week, Marcus, 150 hours a week looking at football shit for a game on Sunday, looking at the games and the shit that they do that they waste their time with. You would think they would be better at this stuff, but they're not. It's unexplainable to me how you spend so much time at something and the decisions are shit.
To me,
and then you got Doug Peterson here just fucking lapping the field 7 times over. It's like, good Lord.
And Sean McVay.
Sure.
He's a good coach.
And Hugh Jackson.
Brr, look at that.
Hey,
Well,
he won
I
one
saw a
game.
picture. Yes.
One win in his first 34 games. He's now won 2 times in the last 3 games. Give that man a raise.
And he got a tie earlier this year. That's pretty good.
What are they?
Yeah.
2-2-1 now?
Yes, and
I literally don't know. What is that? What's their winning percentage when you're 2-2-1?
500, I believe.
Is it 500 still?
Yeah, I guess.
Yep. They won for the first time on a Sunday in the last 36 football Sundays.
36 years since what's his nuts went drinking and raped somebody. That was the last time.
I don't know this, but I would imagine this is the best Brown start through 5 games and in a long, long time.
I think since 2004.
They were the original Cleveland Browns the last time they won on a Sunday.
I looked like the Browns. What was it, like 3 years ago? They were like 8-6.
Yeah, wasn't it not long ago they made the playoffs? I mean,
2002 when Kelly Holcomb led them.
No, they had 1 year in like 07 or 08 where they went like 9-7, but missed the playoffs when they had Braylon Edwards and I think who's the Patriots pass rusher? Willie McGinnis was there.
Romeo Crennel was the head coach, and yes, they needed to win and have something else go their way to make the playoffs. And they won, but the other team didn't. And yeah, they didn't make the playoffs. And then ESPN was like, "Oh, this is great. We're going to put them on Monday Night Football 3 times next year." That's what the NFL did, and they sucked. I think they went 4-12 or 3-13, something like that. Very Brown-esque.
It was 2014. They were 6-3. This was 4 years ago. They were 6-3.
Oh, that seems like such a long time ago.
4 years ago, they were 7-4, and then they proceed to lose their last 5 games.
Who was their quarterback then?
They started that year 3-2.
In 2014,
2014, they were 3-2, 4-3.
Brandon Whedon.
Let me run through this here.
Charlie Fry.
RG3.
Ernie Kosar.
Brian Hoyer, the All-Star Brian Hoyer.
Oh yeah, Brian Hoyer.
Yeah.
Back a minute with Brian Hoyer. Then didn't he blow out his knee on Thursday night, and that was it?
Something happened to him.
Brian remembered he played for Michigan State.
This baseball game, Walker Buehler, who may be the star of this month, Travis Grins, by the end.
He's the ace of the staff.
Yes, he may. That might be. I think he's going to be a bigger deal in very short time against Sean Newcomb. I think this game's already over. So we'll see.
Ball game.
Did I not say that I was worried about the Braves and for good reason?
Well, that's fine.
God, Stacken, I can't believe you picked the Braves to go to the World Series. That was dumb. Oh wait, no, that was me. Never mind.
Hey, Charlie, at least your team that you picked for the World Series survived a little bit longer than my team, the Cubs. So,
Brewers.
Yeah,
We talked about this. It's the Brewers.
I know. I said I wanted to. I was just.
Been decided. It's been decided. They've decided this months ago. It's the Brewers. You're going to win this thing.
Well, you were the one who didn't want to join on the bandwagon along with me at the beginning of the year.
But when I did, I went all the way.
Yes, you did.
All right, you're going to knock off the Cubs. Let's fucking go the whole thing. Let's go.
Yep.
Both feet in the pool.
Brew Crew.
Get it in. Where the hell were we at? Brown shit. NFL sucks. College football stuff. Stacking. How many undefeated teams will there be? There's 3. AA. They got Cincinnati and the 2 Floridas are undefeated. Then you've got 6 other teams undefeated right now. Who you got? Who's in? South Florida, Central Florida, Cincinnati.
Oh yeah. Yep. Sorry.
The 2 best teams in Florida, as we know, South Florida, Central Florida.
The
Legitimately.
war on I-4.
If Stetson had a football team, they would, or maybe they do. Does Stetson have a football team?
I don't think they do.
It's not recognized by the Activities Association of Florida, so.
But if they did, they'd be the best team.
They would
in
be.
Florida.
How many teams do you think are we going to be seeing here with none losses? None of the losses.
Well, I will just go out on a very short limb and say Central Florida is going to be undefeated.
Okay.
And I'd love to see Georgia be undefeated, or Georgia knock off Alabama, but I don't see that happening.
So
one of
those two are going to be undefeated.
Yes. Well, are we talking through the championship game or
Start of the playoff.
Through championship Saturday.
Okay, who's going
once you get to the worst game of the year, Army Navy, what are we looking at?
Who's going to take down Clemson?
Literally anybody at this point. They're not good.
Judging by
I don't think anything.
63-3 win over Wake Forest.
Like literally they could they got NC literally they could shit the bed at any moment the way they've played these past few years. For Christ's sake, they could lose at Boston College. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. But who knows?
Here's what I'll say. I will say there will be 3 teams. It will be Alabama, Central Florida, and the Ohio State University.
So Clemson's going down. Notre Dame's going down.
All 4 teams. Clemson's winning. Clemson. I forgot our Clemson squad. Get Clemson in there.
4 undefeated teams. So you got Alabama. They would make the playoff. Ohio State would make it. Clemson would make it. Who's the 4th team?
Fuck it. Number 5. I'll give you Notre Dame. Yeah, we'll
5 undefeated.
5 undefeated.
This is outrageous. This is
I think the last time I think there were 5 undefeated teams going into bowl game was 2004 when USC, Texas, Auburn, and then who were the other 2? I think they were Boise State and Utah.
That means we got to bring back the BCS, y'all.
The A&M did
it. They need to have. This is where it comes back to me, like that. I think Notre Dame will benefit by not having a conference championship game.
I think
because that's just one less opportunity you have to lose. So
if I had to pick one team to go undefeated right now, I think it's Notre Dame.
Yep.
I am 100% in on that. I don't know when Krenz is going to do the. If you had to repick the playoff, what 4 teams would you pick in?
Ooh, maybe next.
I don't know. I don't know who I would pick, except one of them would be I'd have Alabama in there. Alabama, and then I'd have Notre Dame in there because I think Notre Dame.
Let's make sure Notre Dame's one of the top 2 seeds too, so that I can have them get beat. So,
Notre Dame's remaining schedule in case you all need it.
I've memorized it.
Oh, you have? Okay. Who do they have? Home to Pitt, at a neutral site game with Navy, at Northwestern, home to Florida State, home to Syracuse, and at USC. I think that's
at USC. That's the one you look at.
Never know.
If they're 11-0, that's going to be the game of games there.
Honestly, like my hot take, but I mean seriously,
maybe.
Other than Navy, like Syracuse might be their toughest game left. I don't think Syracuse is still that good.
I was going to say that too. Syracuse is probably the
Florida
most difficult
State's
one
bad, and USC's not very good this year either.
At Northwestern, any takers on at Northwestern?
I'm interested.
No,
I'm interested. That's
interesting.
So that's 2 weeks away or 3 weeks away.
That is November 2nd.
That's a month away.
I wonder if they can keep the grass growing long enough where it's like a foot long. for when they play them, because then maybe they got a chance.
Who does Notre Dame play the week before Northwestern?
Syracuse.
Navy.
Playing the Qs.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, Northwestern. I was thinking you said US.
They play Navy.
Yes.
If
a
it's
nice game
Navy,
on- yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think that they still beat Northwestern, but that I could see that where Navy, has one of those weird like, oh, it wasn't super close, but Notre Dame won 24-9, and then they have a subpar game the next week after playing a triple option team that cuts them the whole game.
Things kind of got out of hand there, stacking. I mean, you're a low scoring game turned into a not low scoring game. They were right in it there in the fucking second half, but then some shit happened. What did you see this?
Unfortunately, I saw part of it, and then I was too tired, so I went to sleep after it was 38-16. What a bad fan I am.
97-yard run. That seemed to be the killer.
Bud Foster had too many Fosters at halftime, and must have given his defense.
Ooh.
And that. Sorry, I'll leave. All right.
Please do.
Wow.
Stack it. They lost because you didn't listen to Inner Sandman before the game.
Very true, Charlie. I'm sorry. Marcus, will that work at the two-man show or no?
No, you're gonna want to scrap that.
Oh, fuck. Well, Buffalo, South Dakota is going to be very upset about that.
We're not going to Buffalo. They canceled.
Doggone it.
You didn't want to go there anyway. So.
Change your plane tickets accordingly. Charlie, have you worked on new lyrics for the opening of the two-man show here?
Of Inner Sandman or
Yes. Let's.
I have not. If you want me to, I probably could.
What would they sound like?
Hush, little Stacking, don't say a word. Your Hokies defense laid a turd. That's all I know right now.
We'll go from there.
It's a work in progress. That's good.
Yeah.
So
The good first two lines right there.
yeah, you got something to work off of.
Very good. When will Tua play in the fourth quarter? When will this happen?
Whenever they play at LSU at night.
They play Missouri next week? Nope. They're at Tennessee? Nope. They're at LSU? I guess.
3 weeks.
Could be a month from now.
And by fourth quarter, it'll be 2 drives in the fourth quarter, and then with 8 minutes left in the game, it'll be out.
Is Alabama the best offense in the country?
They are right now statistically, and we don't have to be okay with it.
The schedule's been shit, but it usually is. But that's
Tell you what, though, that defense is just awful. How awful are they? Giving up 31 points to Arkansas. I'm with Nick Saban.
How many
on
can
this.
Arkansas Pine Bluff score on them?
I don't know. I think no, none.
I don't want to be a part of it. Whatever it is. LSU, they shit the bed. Coach O shit in that bed again.
Come on, Coach O.
Losing to a garbage team in Florida. Trash as always. Some situations here.
Sometimes you go into a swamp with a gator gets you by the leg and you just can't get away.
That's pretty good. I'll give that a 9. That was damn near dead on right there. Certain situations, the kid from Florida picks it off. He scores. Charlie, if you go out of bounds there, game's over. Be like a minute 50 left. There's one timeout. The ball's like at the 5-yard line. Good decision to score in the heat of the moment. Obviously, you're just going to go boom, touchdown, but then you give the ball back to LSU with the chance. So is there a lot of fault on this kid, even though it didn't matter?
I think if the game would have turned out differently, there'd be more blame on them. But since they won, it didn't really matter. And I think it's in the NFL, it's different where they just are. Well, it's supposed to be different where they're supposed to drill these guys all week with stuff like that. But in college, it's tough to turn down touchdowns, and I would imagine they don't go over. Well, we're up by 1, so you need to go down if you get an interception here all that often.
Stacking one of your bets this week. It was a 3-2 week for you. Almost a 4-1 week.
Yeah.
But Nebraska, they
Picked the
scored.
wrong game to pick Nebraska to not score 24 points. That's for damn sure.
Nebraska scores their final touchdown, Stacking, and they're down 18 points. What would you do if you were down 18 points after a touchdown? Would you kick the extra point like they did to be down 17, or would you go for 2?
I think I'd go for 2 to make it a 2-possession game.
They did not. They kicked the extra point.
Well, that's obviously because they had money on the game.
That's what I think as well.
Stacking.
Yeah.
What's your deal with the betting?
What's his deal?
Like,
What's your deal?
why am I doing this?
Picking
No,
favorites. That's
Why are
his deal.
you only taking favorites, Stacking?
I don't know.
Live with some underdogs. Live with some over-unders, man.
I took
Get Lafayette plus the 49.
Let's go.
I took Akron. I took Akron 2 weeks ago.
It bit him. It bit him.
No, they survived that one. I gotta take the underdogs here a little bit more. It's just tough. I'm not the betting guru that you guys and David is. I'm just not. So
I've had a really, really solid day today. 3-2. So that's what people really like. Right down
I
the
think
middle.
I mentioned this before, Stacking. In addition to underdogs, I would also say you are welcome to do overs and unders and find some overs or unders to pick.
okay, I'll do over under next week.
And if you want to have fun, I'm not a big over-under game. I'm not a gambler, period. From what I've heard, just from an entertainment perspective, you're better off picking the over. Because if you get the over, you win and it's done. But the under never wins until the game's literally over.
That's
So you have to sweat it out the entire game.
None of this has to do with your wife on the over/under. I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
Keep it clean. Keep it sports related, Walker Bueller related. Take Milwaukee minus the 1.5 on the run line.
Big time under sweats. You gotta like it.
Kentucky, my Kentucky team shit the bed. Marcus, this was a shit game by the looks of it. A disappointing finish to what could have been a Sugar Bowl type season for sure.
Yeah.
Field goal kicker got him again. Just the shits. That's how it always ends. But,
You got to make your kicks. You got to make them, and it turns out that hitting the crossbar in overtime isn't good. So
I did not see a lot of that game, and it seemed like every time I turned it there, Kentucky's quarterback was running around in the backfield like his hair was on fire, making terrible decisions.
Charlie, how many coaches would you give the contract they gave Jimbo Fisher? Is it anybody other than Urban Meyer and Nick Saban? Those are the only two I would even consider. Maybe Dabo Swinney.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could be convinced for Dabo Swinney, but I think those would be the only three.
What the hell? I mean, Florida State, he turned them around. I'll give him that. But I'm sure as fuck not. Like, does Texas A&M think that there's something that they're not? They're trying to do something here, but yeah.
Don't they have a young wide receiver quarterback combo that could be good in another year or two?
But like,
well, yeah, I think Krenz is saying that, like,
they think
Texas
they're
A&M holds themselves at the level, half a level below Alabama and half a level below, like, not Texas right now, but Texas circa 2005 through 2009.
In reality, they're a level above Missouri, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, they won, I think, one national title in, like, the 30s or the 40s, and that's it. I think
they're trying.
They beat Kansas State in the 98 Big 12 title game, and that's their last conference title, and they've not, like, really come close to one since then. They had that 1 year with Manziel where they went 11-2 and were pretty good, but
Duke.
Well, the first year they beat Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl, but the second year they went 9-4 and beat Duke. I have heard that, and I don't know, I don't talk to people nationally, but I have heard that the two most, like, delusional fan bases of where they think they are compared to where they are consistently are Texas A&M and Syracuse.
Syracuse.
because sort of like now Syracuse isn't as bad as A&M to that degree, but Syracuse was good in the 50s and the 60s, and they just haven't been good for 25 years. And they say, well, we used to be good. Why can't we get kids here to come here and play? And it's like, well, I mean, you're used to be good with Donovan McNabb was them going like 9-3, not 11-0.
I see the Golden Gophers are teaming up with My Pillow here, which is appropriate because this team is soft.
Wow. It always works this way. When you drink, you're better. That's all I gotta say. When you drink, it's Walker Bueller type stacking time is what it is.
All right.
When stacking drinks, Travis wins.
That's right. The show is
over. He took the over. How many drinks did Stacking have? Over or under a half? Took the over.
It can't be Fiji apple. It's got to be limeade. Limeade?
Yep. Why would you do anything different? Cherry limeade.
Cherry limeade. The only way to go.
Well, I mean, give some thought to the
key lime. What do you like?
I like the peach. I do like the lime, strawberry lime or whatever.
Key lime is like Sprite. It's just Sprite.
I currently have an addiction to the Claire Brun sparkling waters right now. Particularly the black cherry.
Is there a bit of a difference there, or what do we got?
I mean, it tastes more like sparkling water than
compared to the Clear Americans.
The Clear American has a lot more carbonated taste to it, whereas this is a lot less tasteless. But I don't know, it's good. I drink if it's get that stuff in the fridge. I could drink a lot of them.
I will tell you this: the Hy-Vee flavored waters, the peach Melbas, the white grape, the key lime, the raspberries. I like that. The Walmart brand, these Clear American, it's the cherry limeade's the only one I can really say is the.
Oh, I like the strawberry one too. Of
strawberry,
okay. Clear American, yeah. So, Great American, whatever.
Whatever the hell it is.
No, it's clear.
It's clear. Whatever the hell it's called, whatever.
Good.
It's clear. It's Clear American here.
I would hope so. For God's sake.
Any Stacking, any intriguing teams for bowl bound or not? Any teams that you think are going to land right on the number here?
Right on the number 6? Like, are we talking from the power conferences or?
Did you do bowl bound for not last week?
Yes, we did do bowl bound or not.
Surely, any intriguing ones there that were like, I don't know.
Well, we had a number of them, I think, didn't we, Charlie?
The one I remember, this is maybe not the most intriguing, and I did not pick them to go to a bowl. The one that sticks out was Florida State, where I heard their schedule, and it was just like, yep, I don't think they're going to a bowl. Now, when they jumped up by like 24 points on Miami, I kind of started to change my mind, and then they blew it, and I'm back to Florida State's not going to a bowl game.
Yep, Florida State schedule. Florida State and Georgia Tech, I think we discussed here. Florida State, though, home to Wake Forest, home to Clemson, at North Carolina State, at Notre Dame, home to Boston College, and home to Florida. That does not sound like a 6-win season by any stretch there. They need to win 3 of those games.
I have to say that talking about bowl bound or not really makes me wish that we had ties still just to fuck with the whole thing and mess with that. So we're like, yeah, well, you're 6-5-1. I guess you can get in. But if we've, or you're 5-6-1, but if we get enough 6-6 teams, you can go to hell. So that'd be great.
I agree. Let's see. Any other?
Oh no, you tied again. You're 5-4-3. You can't go to a bowl game. That's not 6 wins.
Let's see. Do we have any?
What Georgia Tech did to Bobby Petrino? That was they're good for about one of those per year where they put up like 650 rushing yards.
I love that. And combined with him pissing that game away last week.
Has any school like gone off to like had a worse year than Louisville?
Well, Nebraska. But.
No, I'm talking about in totality here.
Yeah,
Nebraska,
man, it's been that bad.
I don't know. They didn't have Papa. Who? Okay, is Warren? Where did Warren Buffett go to school? He didn't go to school at Nebraska, did he?
I think he went to Nebraska. I don't know if he graduated from there. I don't know if he finished college or not.
Well, it's not like you had someone who is sitting on the University of Louisville board, who has a football stadium named after him. all of a sudden get taken down and ousted out of a company, and you lose the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and your basketball program is under suspicion.
Nope, wrong, Stacken. Literally all those things happened to Louisville.
Oh, okay.
You could not be more mistaken.
Warren Buffett went to the University of Pennsylvania, did not get a degree, and then he got a bachelor's from Nebraska Lincoln, master's from Columbia. So there.
I think it worked out for him, that career path or that education path.
Can I tickle your taint, Stacking?
You can.
How about Illinois? Illinois's got 3 wins. They host Purdue.
Yeah.
They host the Gophers. They've got at Nebraska, at Northwestern. They host Iowa. They probably can win 1 of those. I don't know if they can win 3 of those. They're at Maryland. They've got wins over Rutgers, Western Illinois, and Kent State.
Yeah, you know what? That's a very compelling argument here. I mean, I think Purdue's going to beat them here.
A bit of a stretch to even maybe say they can win 2 of those. They need 3 of them. If you're looking for maybe the African-American horse.
Oh, my gosh. This would be – would there be – I would take any team against Illinois in the bowl game. That would be all the confidence points.
Yeah.
All of them. Be on South Florida taking down Illinois.
Jesus Christ.
They already played them.
I absolutely love in the bowl, since we're talking about the bowl games, I just want to talk about bowl games for a second. I love it when there's just an obvious
and it's the other way.
8-4 team playing a
This is
6-6 team, and you're like 6-6 team all the way, or just a total mismatch, but the records are similar. That's a good time. I love that.
I think Nebraska did that a couple years ago in the Foster Farms Bowl. Isn't that right, Charlie?
They were 5-7, played 8-4 UCLA, and they won by 7 or 8 points.
You gotta love it.
Sure I had the 36 on the UCLA that year. I'd have to check the records, but
there were 3 5-7 teams that made it. I believe they were Nebraska, Stacken's Gophers, and I think San Jose State. And all 3 5-7 teams won their bowl.
You gotta love it. Gotta love college football, folks.
Was it the Poinsettia Bowl with Washington?
Washington State, wasn't it?
No, it was Washington. Well, that too, but Washington, Nebraska. Washington beat them in the regular season. Oh, Nebraska beat them in the regular season.
That was the Holiday Bowl in
Washington beat
2010.
them.
Yeah.
Washington beat them in the bowl game. Yeah, that's what happens there. Bowl bound or not by that. What does Fisher Price make a board game?
No,
With
no,
that?
Bradley.
We're still working out the details
Bradley?
of that.
I think Northwestern and Purdue. They'll be.
Fisher Price builds the 8 and under version of Bowl Bound or not, where it has little mascots pop up with whether or not, and then the kid's got to slam it down whether he thinks they're going to a bowl game or not.
It's quite similar to Whack-A-Mole.
Yeah,
That's
I was just going to say.
Very exciting right there. Very exciting.
Instead of learning your shapes and colors and stuff, you learn your
Learn your
college.
bowls.
You know what? If I were an elementary teacher, for spelling
Thank God
bee,
you're not.
wait a second.
How dare you?
How
I
dare
would, for spelling bee words, just have them spell team names, like spell Jets, spell Lions, spell 49ers.
Spell the college basketball school, Duquesne.
Oh, that would be fun. Spell Arkansas for me.
LSDSU. Charlie, are you buying West Virginia? Or are you buying Texas?
I'm buying both Texas and West Virginia. I don't know if they're both going to make the Big 12 title game, but they both look good. I'm buying Texas more so. I think Texas just has some weird juju with Maryland or something. They
That
look
pisses
pretty good
me.
against everybody else.
Pisses me off to no end.
And I think West Virginia's good, but I don't know if I feel great about them struggling at home against Kansas.
Well, who do they play next year? Maybe they were looking past the Jayhawks.
Next week they play at Iowa State, if I remember right.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, I mean that game against Texas, that's a tough one. I think because it's in Texas, you have to favor the Longhorns. But I don't know. I mean, this West Virginia team, I'd say is probably more talented.
I will go ahead and right now, Krenz was talking about if Oklahoma and Texas was the game of the year. The Big 12 game of the year, maybe not in terms of importance necessarily, but the high-scoring shootout will be Oklahoma and West Virginia because West Virginia will not be able to stop Oklahoma's offense, and Oklahoma's defense can't stop anybody. That game might be 60-58.
Any hope for Stanford? Well, that went out the window. They got their asses kicked by Utah. So that was a disappointment.
No hope for Stanford.
No hope for Stanford. That was a disappointment right there. Games for next week. You got Georgia at LSU. That'll be interesting. You have Washington, Oregon at Oregon. Besides that, we're struggling here, folks. Wisconsin, Michigan.
That's
For all you sick fuckers out there, Wisconsin, Michigan. And your Buffs, 5-0 Buffs in LA, taking on the Trojans. Fucking Buffs. I don't know how they're doing it, but they are.
Did you hear Lee Corso talking smack about Colorado yesterday?
I heard Lee Corso talking, but I couldn't make out many of the words.
He said that they're 4-0, they're 1-16. The teams they played, one combined win. So the Buffs, they're gonna lose.
I think that's accurate.
I got Arizona State beating Colorado today.
Oh,
Well, he got it wrong. He got it wrong. So
He did.
fuck 'em.
he can eat his words when Colorado's playing in the Pac-12 title game.
Special teams, I tell you, special teams win by a touchdown and a safety.
You sure about that?
You sure about that, buddy?
Listen, Pops.
Traxler's going to just be excited when it's the Rose Bowl and his Buffs are playing Michigan in the Rose Bowl.
Oh my God, Cordell Stewart, come back!
That would be the 36-pointer for me. I'd take 36 points with Michigan over, or 41, whatever we got. Well, how many fucking games are we going to have here in the bowl?
Colorado will be in the Rose Bowl, and they'll still be like, but if you look at their stats, all their combined opponents have only won one game all year. How are they in the Rose Bowl right now?
Wasn't that accurate? Weren't they?
Maybe. I don't know. I
I have no idea.
I worked fairly late on Friday, so I set my alarm for about 10:53 on Saturday and basically walked downstairs and turned on the TV at about 11:04.
Well, I think this is accurate here because, well, okay, maybe not accurate because Corso wasn't factoring in New Hampshire, but they played Colorado State. That is Colorado State prior to yesterday's convincing 42-30 win over San Jose State.
Huge.
Had one win. Then they played Nebraska, winless there. Then they played New Hampshire. Not sure what New Hampshire's done this year, but I'm fairly convinced that they have at least one win. UCLA is winless, and now you have Arizona State, who has 3 wins. So,
and beat a Michigan State team who lost to Northwestern and isn't any good. So,
Corso also picked Oklahoma yesterday with his cannon blast thing. And apparently, like counting yesterday now, the last 8 times he's picked Oklahoma, they've lost. So, good job.
Stack and give me a good NHL preview. You got 10 seconds.
Yeah, Stacken, why'd you delete my the other day?
I've been meaning to text you.
I thought I had some good takes.
Oh, that's the 10 seconds, Stacken. You're NHL.
I'm so sorry. I feel absolutely terrible. So I'm hoping we can reconvene this week to do take 2 of our NHL preview because we need to talk gritty. But so far I'm pretty safe.
Call it cold pizza. If you call it cold pizza, I'll watch.
I'll call it cold pizza.
Not take 2 or whatever the fuck. Or cold pizza.
Bring back the original cast too. Interview all of them.
I'm gonna have Dana Jacobson and I'll have Woody Page on. Not gonna have Skip Bayless on because I want people to watch.
I just got done watching an incredible Carolina Hurricanes New York Rangers 8-5. Just incredible hockey game. Apparently, it's the second 13-goal game we've had in the first 5 days of the season.
Have they doubled the size of the nets or shrunk the goalie? What is this?
No, Just piss poor defense and and terrific offense.
Well, I mean, you had Pittsburgh, Washington. That was a 7-6 game. So far, the Wild have sucked majorly, and so I'm fairly confident that they will not make the playoffs after 2 games. Yes, 2 games out of an 82-game schedule. I'm saying they're almost cooked. Their goose is almost cooked.
Wow.
Never want to have a brash reaction to things here.
Nope, never. I will
Hey,
say,
Sakin, would you say that you're wild, that their offense hitting the puck, their accuracy has been wild this year, and that's why they're not winning?
Yep, that's probably accurate. Anyway, yeah, that's
Are they shooting blanks or what are they doing?
fuck if I know. Marcus, what are they doing?
Some of it is on the power play. They're not shooting at all. Drives me nuts.
It's all Koivu's fault.
Krins
God,
is right. They're shooting blanks. They've all had vasectomies, and that's why they're not accurate anymore.
I think they're going to be fine, but these first 2 games have not been real convincing from an offensive standpoint. So, whatever.
Whatever. Good. Nobody's got trivia.
No, I'm about good.
I've got a small one here.
Did you talk about Khabib?
You got a
and
small one.
Oh, we did.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
Well, it's dumb on his part to do, but
Justified.
I feel like if there's anyone who would draw that reaction from that sort of reaction from him, it would be, Conor McGregor. And for him to choke him out and then go after his team, it's bad. It's a bad look, but at the same time, for as much shit as Conor McGregor talks and as much shit as his team talks, you know what?
It's time to
Kinda
put up
like-
or shut up.
If there was a melee in basketball and someone went into the stands and a
Which there
basketball
was.
player punched a fan, if that fan were LeVar Ball, I would say that would be justified. But, yeah, that's about all I
Here's
got.
the thing. I mean, nobody mentions, but it was I think sometime last year at a Bellator show, which is like the number 2 MMA promotion. Conor McGregor literally jumped in the cage and shoved a ref.
Nobody's
Nobody's talking about that.
No, because Conor McGregor will come after you then.
That's fine. He threw a dolly on a bus, almost
So
killed someone.
I guess I don't. It's not good, just talk your shit afterward, like in a press conference and whatnot. But again, Conor McGregor does, he ignites this shit. So I'm, I guess, okay with it.
I feel
to a
like
degree.
People are complaining about a convenience store robbery when we have somebody knocking down the Twin Towers over here. Like, but the convenience store robbery was right over here. It's like, yeah, well, the fucking towers came down. So what the fuck do I care about a goddamn guy stealing a bag of Cheetos over here? It's like, come on, get your goddamn priorities correct.
Who had an hour and 12 minutes till Krins invoked September 11th?
Wow.
I mean, let's remember, never forget, okay? Never forget here at 7:37 on an October 7th. Never forget. We have 8 questions here.
We didn't.
No, I didn't forget. I will someday, though, but not now. There's 8 questions here. They're all related to Michael Jordan in that none of the answers are Michael Jordan. So there you go.
Nice.
There are 8 questions here. We're going to do a points-based system. We'll give you some bitches 2 questions each. The winners at the end of both of these rounds will go to the championship final to be played at Jerry World.
I love it.
I like it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stacking, since your blood alcohol level was the highest, you go first.
Okay.
You can pick. I mean, there are some question has 3 answers, another has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 answers. So
Holy shit.
Holy July 13th.
if the question has 3 answers, you get 3 guesses. If it has 8 answers, you get 8 guesses.
Wow.
And I tally up your points, and you'll see what happens.
Is it like whose line is it anyway, though, where the points don't matter? And
points really don't matter. So if you score the most, you're not guaranteed to go to the finals anyway. So what the hell?
All right.
So basically, you want to pick the number where you have to name everyone that Goldberg beat as part of his undefeated streak.
That would be good.
WCW.
You get 7, yes.
You get 170 points or whatever.
The finals are invite only anyway. So
there's 2 columns here. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how I'm gonna pick the number.
And so, what are these questions?
You give me a number, I'll tell you what the hell the question is.
Okay, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of these Michael Jordan did, but he is not one of the answers.
wow.
Slam dunk champions of the 80s.
Ooh.
There were 4 of them, not named Michael Jordan. 1980s slam dunk champions. You get 4 guesses.
Why
Okay?
don't I get 6?
Because there are only 4 answers.
Oh, Dominique Wilkins.
He was one of them.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Spud Webb.
Spud Webb did it. Fuck, look at that. 2. 2 for 2.
Let's go with.
Oh, this Walker Bueller. Do something.
I
You
took the
go
over
with
in
Abe
this game.
Johnson here.
What'd you say?
I took the over in this game.
Oh, yeah, you did.
AIDS Johnson.
No, AIDS Johnson never won a goddamn slam dunk competition.
Okay.
He could barely get his fat ass off the couch, for Christ's sake.
God damn.
You know, something, nobody ever says how he got the AIDS besides cheating on his wife with 1,000 women, but let's not look into the details of the AIDS, just to say he had the AIDS.
Yeah, well, that
How'd
is
you
all
get
that
that?
matters.
How'd you get those AIDS there, Johnson? One more, stacking for shits and giggles.
Is it any wonder that he's gotten rid of his AIDS basically when his name's Magic Johnson? I mean, doesn't that explain how?
That's the magic part of it.
Tells you something. I know that. It tells you something.
Got that magic blood.
I'm sure. I'm almost positive. No, I am positive this is wrong, but I'm going to go with Clyde Frazier.
Nope, he was dead by then. Larry Nance. Larry Nance was a guy, and then Kenny Walker, also a guy. So,
Okay.
I didn't know Kenny Walker. I would have. I knew he did it. I didn't know it was in the 80s.
If it was Johnny Walker, I would have picked it. But
Jesus Christ.
Stackins BAC sprinting upwards at the moment.
He's just inebriated beyond repair. You don't have to act like a Philly fan just because you beat the Eagles.
this cherry limeade stuff very good with vodka. It's a very refreshing beverage.
I'm glad you're trying everything.
When I need to hydrate, this is the brand of vodka I choose to put with my water.
Grey Goose or Smirnoff or the Costco brand. Costco, good vodka.
Jelly beans. You have any jelly beans on you?
They don't put that in the ad. Costco, good vodka. That should just be the slogan of the whole store.
Walker Bueller, down 3-0 count. Bases loaded. Throw a strike here.
Is he
Charlie.
down 3-0 in the game?
Down 1-0, 3-0 count.
Hey, let's cool it with the spoilers here. I'm watching on a little bit of a delay, so.
Well, what's your
Did Freddie Freeman hit that solo home run?
I think it was a walk or something. Charlie. Can't
I
pick
will
numbers.
go with lucky number 7.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Come
You get
on,
the one that
Stan.
has 8 answers. 8
Oh,
answers.
shit.
This is the daily double. This is the not the whammy. Extra spins for Charlie.
That's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Stackin.
No, that was. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the daily. Your daily double.
Son of a bitch.
Those are your bedroom sounds. All right, 8 answers here, Charlie. Name me all 8 gentlemen who were part of the Bulls' first 3 titles. There were 8 guys that were on all 3 teams. 91, 92, 93. Oh, we might have a grand slummer. Oh my.
I will go with one Scottie Pippen.
Welcome to the deal there. Scott Pippen did it.
I will go Horace Grant.
Yes.
I will go I almost got B.J. Armstrong mixed up with Muggsy Boggs and said that, but I'm glad I'm going to go with B.J. Armstrong. I got those short guys mixed up. I will go with John Paxson.
Yes. 4 for 4. Grand Slam. This was a great
Acuna. Yes.
Acuna. Look at that.
He's there later. I don't know if he was still there or if he was there then. I will go with Bill Winnington.
Nope, can't accept it. Can't accept it. Can't do it.
Can't do it.
3 more to go.
What's that? It broke up on my thing for a second.
You got 3 more answers.
Let's see. Steve Kerr.
Nope.
I guess he was there later also.
Yes.
Is this the only time that the Braves ballpark has been full this season? Like, how many of these people are truly Braves fans?
None of
Really?
them.
And because of where the stadium is, they're never going to get to leave. So
Thrashers must not be on tonight. So
I don't know. He was there early. I don't know if he was still there then. I will go with Charles Oakley.
no.
And I know they had that other white big guy, but I can't think of what his name is.
I know.
So let's see. Ron Artest still wasn't there yet. Was Bill Cartwright there?
Bang from downtown. Bang. He was there. Will Perdue was a
That was the guy I was thinking.
love it. Love it.
terrible broadcaster for the Bulls, Stacey King. Former Sioux Falls Skyforce player, Stacey King. And Scott Williams, a black guy named Scott. Marcus.
Scott.
Marcus,
I had to get rid of them. They can only have one Scott on the team, and Scottie Pippen won.
you gotta change your name. Dentist.
I'm going to go with number 3.
There are 5 answers. Michael Jordan is among these, but you can't answer with him.
I'm aware.
So there are 5 answers here. They've scored 5,000 plus points in the playoffs. 5,000 playoff points.
I'm going to go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem All-Jabber, yes. As my friend in the 3rd grade said.
Al-Jabber.
Kareem All-Jabber.
LeBron James.
LeBron James has done it.
Magic Johnson.
Nope. The AIDS did him in.
Larry Bird.
Bird, the AIDS did him as well. One more.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. Tim Duncan and Shaquille O'Neal were the other 2.
Shaquille, I thought about Shaq.
Thought about him. Charlie has 5. Marcus has 3. Nathan has 2. Final round. Clear
This is going to
America.
be so embarrassing when I blow this lead at the end.
No,
You can
I'm
clip.
in last. I'm in last with 2.
Yes.
I'll go with number 2.
There's only 3 of them, so you got to get all of them right.
Okay.
3 guys other than Michael Jordan in the NBA who were awarded the Associated Press Athlete of the Year.
LeBron-
AP.
LeBron James.
LeBron James is one of the 3.
What was the question?
An NBA player named the AP
Oh, gotcha.
Athlete of the Year.
Okay.
Jordan did it. LeBron did it. 2 more. They decided this guy was the
How far does this go back?
Long ways. I know it goes back to like the 40s.
Sure.
Wilt Chamberlain?
Nope.
Fuck.
Good guess.
Um,
Charlie is
So-
clinched. Let the breaking news scroll show Charlie is clinched.
so I have three others in mind. I'll say Bill Russell.
No.
Was Shaq or Kobe one of them?
No.
Okay. Well, then I don't feel so bad.
Larry Bird and Steph Curry.
Ah, shit.
I get Steph Curry. I would not have ever guessed Steph Curry, though.
You get a.
But it makes sense.
You get a 12 plaque of Clear America, your choice. Charlie, for seeing purposes.
I will go with number 2.
That the one we just did?
Yeah, that is the one we just did.
I will do number 3.
Marcus did that one.
I will do number 4.
5 answers. Players who were drafted in 1984 and selected to the All-NBA team at some point in their career. 84.
So drafted the same year as Jordan, and also they made the All-NBA team at some point.
At some point in their careers. 5 guys did it.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Who's the guy that did it?
I don't think Sam Bowie did, so I'm not going to guess him. And I know there's some other I know there's at least one other Hall of Famer in that draft, and I'm forgetting who it is. Is it Karl Malone?
He's not on the list.
Okay, so who else? Let's see. Would have retired in the mid to late 90s or early 2000s. Hall of Fame guy. Let's see. Hakeem Olajuwon. Or I already said Hakeem Olajuwon, sorry. Ralph Sampson.
No, good guess, but no.
Actually, now that I think about it, if Ralph Sampson was in the same draft as Jordan, Ralph Sampson would have probably gone first over anyone else.
Two known guys, 2 obscure guys.
John Stockton.
Yes.
And then I think that was the other one that I think I would have heard of before. I don't think there's hardly any chance I have to get the last one. I'm just going to try to guess someone else randomly who was around.
1 guy you've heard of, 2 that are iffy.
How about, let's see, who was in the NBA Jam game that I owned on Sega Genesis? I got to think of guys from around that time frame. Joe Dumars.
Charles Barkley, Kevin Willis, Elvin Robertson.
I've heard of Kevin Willis. I would not have guessed him, and have not heard of the other guy.
Marcus,
and I've also not heard of Charles Barkley.
Marcus needs 1. You're in a tie with Stack. Number 1 is available. Number 5 looks to be available.
Give me number 1.
3 guys have been selected to 9 all-defensive first teams. 3 guys. 9-time all-defense. You need 1. Not the easiest of questions.
Let me think.
Both of the championship questions have 4 answers each, so that is nice.
So these are guys that have been picked to the first team.
First team, all defense 9 times. Jordan was, and these 3 other guys. What's the winning percentage for Stacking? What's his playoff chances?
Nil.
No, you're tied with Marcus at 3.
Well,
According to the ESPN FPI, he's got a 23.7% chance of advancing.
I'm going to go with Kevin Garnett.
Yes. 0% now, Stacking. 0%.
it was 0% when before this question was.
No.
And I'm going to go with Gary Payton.
Yep.
Gary Payton was the only one I thought of.
And I'm going to go with Tim Duncan.
Kobe Bryant.
Oh, shit. Kobe played defense? I don't remember.
Kobe Bryant. 5 points for Marcus, 3 for Stacking. Charlie with 7. We go to the championship rounds. Charlie gets to pick first. You can either pick number 5 or number 8.
In golf, they call 8 a snowman, so I will not pick that. I'm going to take 5.
4 guys, other than Jordan, have been selected to the All-Star game at age 38 or older.
Oof.
38 years or older, they've been picked as All-Stars. Who are these old fucks?
38 or older in the All-Star game. I'm going to go with Kareem Al-Jabbar.
Mr. All-Jabber was one of the old bastards. Also the only one from the movie Airplane that's made the All-Star team.
Leslie Nielsen never made the NBA All-Star game?
Not the NBA All-Star game. Baseball.
Let's see. Who else was really old when they played? I will go...
Is that Chris Berman?
No. It's Chris Berman contemplating.
Are we taking a shit or are we doing Chris Berman? We do the same thing and it doesn't it fits for both.
One's socially acceptable, and then the other one's Chris Berman.
Yeah. Is that you in there, Berman? Yeah.
Tim Duncan?
Oh, he's 2 for 2.
Okay.
Old man Duncan.
Will Fuller.
There's one guy I keep thinking of. He's going to be my last guess because I don't think he's an answer. So I'm trying to think of someone better than
That guy.
this guy. I feel like it's more likely to be a big guy.
There's
Maybe
a
that's
dryer right outside.
inaccurate.
There's a dryer outside of my apartment. It also sounds like a helicopter.
2 interesting things I would not think of that sound similar.
It sounds like an episode of MASH.
Wait, who'd I guess already?
All-Jabber and Tim Duncan.
Karl Malone.
Yes.
Okay, so then my last guess. Now I don't know if my last guess was going to be Vince Carter. I really don't want to guess Vince Carter though.
Ooh, he's not doing it.
So I'm either going to guess Vince Carter or Shaquille O'Neal. I'm trying to think how old Shaq would have been because All-Stars fan voting, if I remember right, and they always vote guys they know. I'm going to say Shaquille O'Neal. That's my final answer.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash was a pretty good too.
3 out of the 4. Stiff challenge for the dentist. Number 8 we go. Players who have won 4 or more scoring titles. 4 or more. 3 to tie, 4 to win.
All right.
Yep.
Let's see here. Four or more we're taking.
4 men have done it. 4 of them have done it.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain is one of them.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant is another one of them.
Ooh, I wouldn't have guessed Durant. That makes sense, though.
There are 2 left.
Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson did it. This one is for the win, or we'll be like the fucking Browns and go to overtime every week.
Which is great.
Which is great.
I'm going to go with Al Jabber. Hello?
George Gervin.
Shit.
George Gervin? Oh my God. That would have, you'd have given me 70 guesses and I wouldn't have thought of Gervin.
What the hell? That's gotta be stacking.
He's so bored with this show that he's watching something else.
I feel bad for Traxler. I am quite surprised that that Kareem was not. I don't know how Traxler thought it. My first thought was, well, Kareem's got, or that Wilt Chamberlain has to be one. And then the second one was like, well, also Kareem Abdul-Jabbar too, but apparently not.
Basketball's stupid sometimes.
Tiebreaker.
Except when they fight in the arena in Detroit, then it's fun.
A tiebreaker. We will go 1 through 6. Come to a joint agreement on a number.
What am I doing?
3?
Is it all right if we pick number 3?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Hey, stacking. Yeah, let's keep that down. Whatever you're watching here.
I'm watching Viking highlights with the Philadelphia Eagle announcing radio team.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
let's just,
This
pause that.
This does not involve Michael Jordan.
No shit.
No, I mean this question.
Oh,
There are
okay.
6 answers. I will have Charlie go first, go back and forth one at a time. 6 players have had 60-plus regular season triple-doubles. 60-plus regular season triple-doubles. So basically the top 6 triple-double guys of all time. Charlie, just go back and forth until we've gone 6 answers, and then maybe we got a fucking...
I will go with Oscar Robertson.
He's on the list. Marcus.
Magic Johnson.
Age Johnson on the list. Charlie.
I will take the Ninja Turtle, Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook is on the list. Marcus.
LeBron James.
LeBron James on the list. 2 to go. Charlie.
All right. Well, this has gone from like I got a couple guys to all the guys I was going to guess are gone now.
There are 2 guys. I would classify these 2 fuckers as vastly different fuckers.
As what?
I would classify them as vastly different as how they played, I guess, despite having a lot of triple doubles.
I am going to say Shaquille O'Neal.
No, Marcus for the win.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain, yes. We had to go to the last deal. The other guy who I think is vastly different than Wilt Chamberlain is Jason Kidd.
Yeah, licking his
damn it,
forehead.
I forgot about Jason Kidd.
A bad guy who would get 10 of everything.
I just heard they were vastly different, so I thought, well, who's the center?
Big
That was really good, and the first one I thought of was Shaq.
There we go. That was a question of basketball things. Next week,
I'm disappointed that I lost, but I'm glad that it did not blow up in my face right away. At least waited till the very end.
It was a battle to the end, to the last seconds of overtime with the field goal. The basketball, I think Wednesday, the basketball starts of 2 weeks from now.
Yes, the 17th.
I think is when the
16th.
basketball 16th.
16th on TNT. Got a doubleheader.
Cunha, as good as he is as a hitter, really fucked up that left field. So it's a 5-2 ball game. Plan accordingly for that.
That over's looking good. Looking good.
Anything else, folks? The Vikings won.
So we're doing an NBA preview next week?
Probably. We're not. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. We're.
I'm going to
But-
convince myself that the Bucks are going to be in the Eastern Conference
Ooh.
Finals, and then chicken out at the last minute and not pick that.
No, Charlie, Tampa Bay does not play in
Wow.
they only play in the NFC South. Ryan Fitzpatrick is not the point guard.
Well done, Stacken. I like that joke. Well done.
All right, guys. We'll catch you later.
He's going to catch us later, folks, for the drunk stacking, for the dentist himself.
Acuna can't catch it, but Marcus will.
That's right. For Charlie Hildebrand and folks, Lounge 265. Next week we'll be at 266, and we'll no longer be able to fight in the UFC